Happy New Year. Happy New Year, dear astrology friends. Dear astrology friends, how are you doing? How are you doing? When you're watching this video, it doesn't matter when you are doing it. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you kind of, just like me, kind of said like, oh, these days, these holidays, isn't it like, oh my goodness, when I look at myself, I kind of see what I don't want to see, but anyways, and I'm going to talk a little bit about myself here. When I look in the mirror and I see these little bags here, then I just think of that. What's the name of that French actress? I don't know. Léa Seydoux. Léa Seydoux. Je crois qu'elle s'appelle Léa Seydoux, and she's a very, I think, a very sexy, attractive woman, but she's got bags on her eyes. Incredible, and she just pulls it off. She's just owning it. And I think her name is Léa Seydoux. I'm not quite sure, but I think it's the one with the James Bond, and she's like all this, like, I've got bags under my eyes, but hey, I don't care. That kind of vibe. How are you dealing, by the way, women out there? If you're a man, skip this 1 or 2 minutes. If you're a woman, how are you dealing with bags? Can you recommend me a good concealer or anything? Just please help me out here. Do it and write it in the comments. Or are you going to do like me? Just going to, fake it till you make it. Just going to imagine that you're Léa Seydoux. Why not? Anyway, welcome. Welcome to February horoscopes of 2024. It's a beautiful day here out in Belgium, really. I want to go out, but I don't feel like it because I feel a little bit drained, actually. Is that a good thing to say in the video, that you're drained? No, it's not. But anyway, it's the truth. But that doesn't mean to say I can't give a good horoscope review, because, I did make notes in this wonderful book. Don't you think this is a wonderful book? I certainly do think it is, I'm digressing, isn't it? But I'm recording this when Mercury squares Neptune. But again, everything has its timing, and everything is as it is, and everything is at its best as it is. Now, let's turn. You see, I don't want to go into the astrology, actually. I just want to chit chat, really. I should have had my beautiful cup of tea here. Bought myself very beautiful, very English looking cup of tea. It's making no sense at all. It's making no sense. So the good thing about watching videos is that you can scroll. You can just go further. Anyway, the real video starts at 3 minutes. Well, what is 3 minutes, right? Let's just make it as a bit more personal this year, 2024. Let me know what you want to know, right? Because first of all, as this is the first video of the year, from the heart, from my huge heart, I have to say, I want to thank you all. I want to thank you all I know I can't see you, you're watching that, but I feel you. I feel you guys out there, guys and girls and women and men. I feel you there. I feel your energy. This is, and I love to do these videos for you. It's, it's an energetic thing. I'm talking to a camera, yes, but I kind of tune in. It's very weird. I don't know how it works, but anyway, someone probably knows and can write in the comments again. You see, I want to have a lot of comments this first video because I want to do a little bit more than just the astrology this year. And what do you want me to talk about? Because when I'm doing readings, I'm not just doing the astrology. No, it's just a tool. It's just a tool. What I'm doing is hopefully so much more than doing astrology. And I get my information from everywhere, my own life, my books, the people that I connect with the most, of course. And especially the people that trigger me, right? You learn from that the most because they are your mirror. And yes, I'm really, really learning now a lot about, and I want to make a video about that, or maybe a series of that. If that is something that you want, write it in the comments. It's about this feminine and masculine energy. And it's about, like, for instance, you could say Venus in Taurus is very feminine. It's a feminine sign, and it's a very, you could say, light feminine energy. The opposite is Venus in Scorpio, which is also feminine, but which is the dark feminine energy. You know, things like that. If you want a video about that, things like that. Okay, it's already 5 minutes and I haven't said anything about the February horoscopes. Anyway, I wanted to thank you all for your support, your warmth that I'm feeling, you know, reading in the comments and the subscriptions, my channel grows, and it's slowly but surely. That's actually a reflection of who I am. And of course, spread those videos if you like them. Don't spread them if you don't like them. Watch another channel if you don't like this channel. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for the energy that you are sending out. I mean, your appreciation, it takes two to tango, right? And it certainly gives me energy to proceed and to go further than just the astrology, basically. So yeah, you definitely are a huge part in my life. My astrology friends, I call it the astrology community. And I appreciate you, basically. It's just, let's get to it. Enough of it's getting too cheesy here. Let's, my moon in Aries is saying, Veerle, get to the point. Anyway, February. What a month that is. It's, wow. It's, you're probably feeling it already. I'm recording this on the 5th, 6th. I'm like a kid, right? 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. The 9th. I'm recording this, I think, on the 9th of January. Yes. So I always want to do the videos a little bit upfront, right? And the 9th of January. So this energy is definitely one of that you already feel that things are speeding up. And that is because, and February is definitely a month of high speed. I mean, the planet Mercury is like going into three signs. Can you imagine after this retrograde? And, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is that February is a very fast month. And why is that? Because all the planets are going direct. All of them. Mercury, Mars, Venus, Uranus, you name it. They're all going direct, which means the speed is high. The Mercury will be out of its shadow. So it's going into new territory where the Mercury is where the mind and our thoughts and our communications and our awareness and so on. It is a communication planet. And when that is going so fast, it means that we are exploring new things, new experiences we will find in February. And the key word is, yes, new experiences. Yes, all planets are going direct. But there is, again, this is energy. You don't have to go on with that energy. I mean, we choose, we co-create, we say, no, thank you very much for the energy. Or yes, we are going on the ride. And of course, I invite you to go on the ride of the energy, because then you follow nature. Because it's like astrology is a language of nature, right? There are times that it is good to rest. There are times that it is good to act. And, it's when you go with nature, you're so much stronger, right? And okay, I'm feeling like my nose is dripping a little bit. I'm so sorry for that. But anyway, I'm human as well. I shouldn't be saying sorry, right? Anyway, what I was saying Yes, what is the energy? The energy is Platonic. It is a very, very Platonic month. It is a month of, if we want it, if we want to go on the ride, it is a month of things are dying. Things are dying. Really, let that sink in a little bit. Things are death. Some things in our lives are death. There's no soul in it anymore. It needs to go. It needs to go out of our lives. And for some people, it's going to be, and the energy is all serious now, isn't it? It's like, and we know it, or we don't know it. Then there's still some work to do. But it's better that we face it, you know. With Pluto, it is the furthest planet away. It is the most difficult planet to handle, and it demands the most consciousness. So, in other words, if we are prepared and we know that a certain part of our lives is dead, it's going to make it easier. It's going to make it easier. It's still going to be challenging, yes, but it's not going to be suffering, right? And that could be a job that is no longer for you, a connection that is no longer for you. And I mean, a connection, it could be a connection with a co-worker, a connection with a friend, a connection with a lover, whatever it is. There is things that need to transform. So for better or for worse, right? It could mean that a certain connection is very, very bad, very, very toxic, and now is the time to just break it up. Or it can mean that a certain connection is about to get an upgrade. And there is a lot of fear involved, maybe fear of what are my friends gonna say, what is my religious community gonna say, and so on and so on. So it's not always that we are going this way. On the contrary, Pluto actually wants us to go this way. And it's but what we all, and you know, it's the story of the phoenix reborn and blah blah blah, but what we all want that, right? We all want to be authentic. I mean, people who are watching this channel, they vibrate with me on the level of authenticity, right? Because that's what we want, and that's what makes life sometimes not easy, but it's a big reward because you are true to yourself and also to others. And that's what Pluto is all about. It's authenticity, it's the truth, but it has its price, definitely. And not necessarily that price that you give it, that you say, for instance, let's say you want another job because it's a soul-wrecking job that you are in. If you want to do your expressing your soul and starting, for instance, your own business or your own little web shop or a big web shop, whatever, it's going to have its price, and the price is going to be to get into the unknown and to say goodbye to the other one, the security you might be giving up, and so on. It's not all so simple. So that's Pluto. That is Pluto. That is what Pluto is all about. It's now into at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and it's going to be, you know, personal planets hitting that Pluto. All of them, not all of them, almost all of them. The Sun is about to connect with Pluto on the 20th of January, or around that time. That's the first planet, you could say. Then, of course, during February, Mars is going to hit Pluto in a conjunction at 0 degrees of Aquarius. First Mercury on the 4th and the 6th of February, it's going to hit Pluto. Then Mars is going to hit Pluto around between the 11th and the 15th of February. Boom, Mars in Aquarius bumping into Pluto. Venus as well. She's going to hit Pluto around the 15th and the 18th of the month. Venus gets into Aquarius. Boom, connected with Pluto. This is a huge sign. Of course, there's other things going on. Of course, there's a beautiful sextile between Jupiter and Saturn. And that's going to be a little bit of our backup, you could say, and support system. I'm going to talk about that for all the 12 signs where we can feel that, because it's this Jupiter sextile with Saturn is throughout January, February. And what it means is that there is a support. A sextile is like support between Saturn, which is which is boundaries, and Jupiter, which is novelty and expansion, and I want to explore. So purpose and responsibility, they are going hand in hand, which is fantastic, right? Sometimes we want to expand and we forget the responsibility. Sometimes we are getting too rigid and we don't grow anymore. So now there's a beautiful balance throughout the whole month between this Jupiter and Saturn. But as I said, that is peanuts in comparison with this Pluto just entering Aquarius. And now we are really going to feel what this is all about. So of course, Pluto in Aquarius, I made a whole video of that. I'm not going to repeat here. So watch that video if you haven't done already. But with all those personal planets hitting it, it means that Aquarius is the sign of goals of the future. And it's the sign of friendships, and it's the signs of groups of people, of like-minded people. When we have Pluto there, it wants to destroy the things that are not longer working for us. So it wants to destroy those energies that are no longer good for us. Yes, it wants to destroy friendships that are no longer suiting us. It wants to destroy groups of people, media, social media that we are. Maybe you have Facebook and you have this and you have that. So a lot of people will see that there is something that needs to go. But it will, of course, transform into something that is better, that is more aligned with us, that is more truthful to us. So better friends, new friends, transformation of friends. Maybe a friend that you say, you didn't thought of that situation and now it's becoming on another level, you know, and that can be a very positive thing in the end. It's always as it has to be. But it's also our goals. Our goals is about getting out of the box, thinking out of the box, doing something for society, be innovative, do something independent, independence, do something that frees you up, and you're going to free up other people around you. That is also what this is all about. And last but not least, I mean, if this isn't the cheesy thing, then I don't know what is. Mars is going to conjoin with Venus, or Venus is going to conjoin with Mars. I mean, the two lovers are coming together. Mars conjunct Venus. We don't have that often. And it's in Aquarius. So it's very close to Pluto. What does this mean? It means when Venus comes together with Mars, it's very passionate, right? So and of course it's not on the 14th of February, which would be like too cheesy, right? It would be too cheesy, wouldn't it? Like Venus conjunct Mars coming together on the 14th of February, that would be over the top. And in Aquarius, but it's on the 20th, I think. Yeah, between the 20th and the 23rd, do something passionate. But there's like a new seed that it's like conception time, you could say. So a lot of people are going to fall in love. A lot of people are going to fall for a new passion in their life, which could be a hobby, which could be a job, which could be whatever. There's going to be lots of that. But first, there needs to be something that is breaking down, right? Because this Venus and it's not just a Venus conjunct Mars in Aquarius. No, it's a Venus conjunct Mars in Aquarius conjunct Pluto. So in order to get to that passion, something drastically needs to change, period. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You know? In order to get to the passion that is very authentic and true, something before that will have to go. And it's not going to be easy. I mean, because otherwise it would not be Pluto. It would be Jupiter, right? It would be Jupiter conjoining with Mars and Venus, and it would be, oh, you see? So yes, interesting. And Aquarius, again, when Venus and Mars come together in Aquarius, so the planets of desire are coming together in Aquarius. Aquarius is, so what are we going collectively liking a little bit more when all these Aquarian traits? We are going to be more open for Aquarian traits that we would want in our lives, which is, again, good friendships, good feeling that you belong to a group of people that is like-minded, having goals for the future. That is good for society. That is good for something innovative, something that frees us up, freedom. And especially relationships. This is also a month, and I'm not saying that because it's Valentine. I'm saying that because of the astrology. It's like old attitudes that people have towards relationships. They're going to die. They have to die. Some of them. So in order for new ones, more healthy ones, Pluto, it wants the toxicity out, right? So it's actually a good thing. It's like, let go of that toxicity of relationships, of connections that are manipulative. Pluto. So Venus with Pluto, Mars with Pluto. The huge word here is power. And it's a lot about, it's going to come up. Power struggles are going to come up. So be aware of that. The power struggles, the toxicity in connections, who's got the biggest power. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Be like the true Aquarian, just seeing it, observing it, and learning from it. And learning how to have that equality in relationships. Like, I'm not more than you, I'm just different than you. Venus and Mars in Aquarius. If you're doing in the relationship, in the connection, working as a team, not working against each other. You're good at finances, okay, you do the finances. You're good at, taking care of the kids, you take care of the kids. It's teamwork. It's not working against each other, which is Pluto trying to make you surrender to that. Ultimately, Pluto is about surrendering. It's about surrendering that what is no longer serving for you, that you let that go, that you cannot change other people. It's about you changing you. It's in relationships very much about when you see something in another person, when you are in a relationship, you see something in another person that they are not doing well. The Pluto there is about you just take off your hands in wanting to make them different. If you hate that your partner is smoking, for instance, they're smoking cigarettes, but they already did that when you met them 10 years ago. Now all of a sudden it's like bothering you or whatever. Then look at yourself, Are you smoking? Make sure that you are not smoking, that you are exuding that you are giving the example, and so on. That you are not, for instance, harming your body, and that you are not trying to do these self-destructive ways, instead of just pointing to that person. A lot of people are going to point to other people. Definitely. With this Mars, Venus, Pluto, oh yeah. So don't fall for that, surrender to that energy. That's so powerful. That's so powerful because trust the universe. Trust not only yourself, but also the universe. So it's a realignment that is happening here. And trust the universe that the people that are on your path, that are coming into your life, or that are in your life, or in a different form, or whatever, trust the universe that if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And they're gonna, so for those of you who are single, for instance, don't chase around. I don't care if you're a woman or a man, and you're interested in someone, there is going to be such an energy of compulsiveness. Don't give in to that. Take your power back. And the good thing about Pluto, it's surrendering to that desire, and you improve yourself, you love yourself, and then the person will come who needs to come to you. Absolutely. I do so many readings, and I say that so many times. It's so easy said, but in practice. Anyway, I stop the preaching here. You get the drift here. It's about surrendering to what is already dead. It's about transformation. It's also a bit about revolution. Why? Because there's also a touch of Uranus going on here. We're going to have Venus in a trine to Uranus. When will that be? Around the 8th. But we're also having the Sun in a square to Uranus. A lot of Uranus is going to be activated a lot, right? Mercury squaring Uranus. And Uranus is all about independence, and it's all about truthfulness, and it's all about enlightenment, awareness, seeing things. Can you imagine when you see things, when you observe, and you know how easier it is to walk your life, right? So let's get into it. So what I'm going now for the 12 signs, I'm not going to make this video too long anymore, because this is the most important part, in my humble opinion. Although I understand that people want to know what's for their sign, I'm going to focus on that Aquarian energy where so many planets are, right? So you already heard me talking about Mercury in Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius, Sun in Aquarius, Mars in Aquarius. I mean, and sometimes the Moon in Aquarius. So it's like a whole bunch of planets there. So I'm going to talk about that house. And that is the house that I'm going to point out is the most transformative. Of course, Pluto, is going to stay there for a long time. So we have time. Years and years and years, we have time to transform that area. So don't think that you have to do everything in February. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just the beginning. It's the beginning. Venus and Mars together. It's the beginning of a story. And it's a very passionate one. A passionate story. A beautiful story. Anyway, and I'm also going to mention the Jupiter sextile Saturn. So the support that we can get, right? But very concise, precise, and not too long here. Aries people, this is your 11th house. So the transformation, the death, the rebirth that is going on is in your goals. Some goals of you, they need to go. They need to go. It's also friendships. So some friendships need to transform. So, of course, it can be for better and can be for worse. Can be like toxic friends, get them out of the way. It can also mean, let's say you're single, for instance, and there is a friend that's becoming more. Can be as simple as that. So, huge things are happening. As Pluto is sextiling your energy, you are likely to tap more into the positive side of this, okay? So transform that area. It really, you're going to feel so much more empowered with the right friends and with the right goals. What is going to help you? Jupiter in the 2nd house, in Taurus sextiling Saturn in the 12th house. What is going to help you is your value, how you value yourself, is the way that you make money. And it's also with the relaxation of it, of Saturn in the 12th house, is like you keep under discipline your escape kind of, how do you say that? We all want to escape every now and then, right? With Saturn there, it kind of disciplines it. It's going to be very good for you. Taurians, all this energy is in the top of your chart. Especially the ones who've got planets at the very beginning of Taurus, you are going to feel this strongly. What is the 10th house? It is your career. So there is a death and a rebirth for you when it comes to career. Now, this could be all kinds of stuff, right? Depending on your story, you could start a career, you could end a career, you could also transform a career. You could start with something that is very Aquarian, that gives you an independent feeling. It doesn't matter how old you are. There's probably something about the career now that is not giving you enough passion, right? So your passion is in that career. Do something that you want to be seen for, and that other people, Venus and Mars is very artistic energy. It's very creative energy. Use it for your career. For other people, it's their parents. There could be, the 10th house and the 4th house is the axis of parents. There could be a change in the connection with parents as well. What is helping you? It's the 1st house to the 11th house. So Jupiter in your house, you are expanding, you are growing, and it's sextiling the 11th house of friends and groups of people. So go out there with friends, connect with friends, do the effort with people who give you a good feeling, who support you, who are with you, and who've got your back, right? You don't have to do this all alone. Geminis, this is your 9th house. For Geminis, this is beautiful. All this Plutonian energy, you are one of the signs that will deal the best with this. You, together with the Librans, you will deal the best with this because you are a fellow air sign. So the 9th house is travel. Do travel if you can. Do learn. Do teach. Do explore new cultures. Do explore philosophy, astrology, everything that has to do with connecting the dots, right? Go study if you can. Go be the messenger, right? Or receive messages. So this is a transformation also of how you think, really, what you are convinced of, right? What you are convinced of. So what needs to die, so to speak, is some of your thoughts that have been very helping throughout many, many years, but now it's not helping you anymore. For instance, you could be like me, and being that, let's say you're a woman, and you always, I got to do this, I got to do that, with a lot of masculine energy, and you're doing this, and you're doing that. And now you're seeing that actually you're doing that because you have not enough trust in the universe, in men around you, and so on. So that could mean a shift in that's a huge one, isn't it? To get a little bit more in your feminine energy, to get a little bit more go with the flow and all. It's that sort of, I'm just giving you an example here, but it's your mindset that is about to shift, whether you like it or not. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. What is going to help you? The 12th house and the 10th house. So Saturn in the 10th, work is going to help you. The discipline at work, the structure at work, and Jupiter in your 12th house is your spirituality, right? So these are helping you. Cancerians, Pluto in the 8th house. What is that all about? Massive energy in a very, very hidden house, in a very complex house. So it's the Scorpionic house and your water sign. So you will deal with this energy quite well, although people will not know what's going on with you because you keep that hidden. The 8th house is the psychological house. It's the house of intimacy. It's the house of deep psychological understanding of the self and knowledge. So you could have an interest in the occult. You could have more an interest in philosophies and whatnot. But keyword is trust. Trusting in other people, trusting in in the universe, trusting in intimacy, vulnerability. These are things that Cancerians normally, they, you know, the symbolism of the Cancerian, you know, it's a shell, right? And it's very hard. But there's a reason for that, because on the inside it's very mushy and it's very soft. And that is, of course, a symbolism, but it's true that Cancerians can have a little bit more of a hard shell, but that's to protect themselves. And that's a good thing, right? Because certainly in this world, people can really abuse that goodness and that softness. But with this here, this energy in your 8th house, the house of intimacy, the house of intimacy, sexuality, but it's more than just sexuality. It's more about that. It's the deeper thing that lies underneath, which is the trust, which is deep, deep connection with a one-to-one person. That is what Pluto wants you to know. And you might not have this in your life now, but you certainly, maybe secretly, not even knowing it yourself, there is this need to explore this area of your life, but you will have to be vulnerable towards at least one specific person that you trust, right? So choose wisely who you are going to have sex with, who you are going to share your most vulnerabilities with. And it's good that you're doing it, but choose wisely. So that's the message. Choose wisely, discern, know who you are. Don't do it just to everyone, right? That's basically what Pluto is all about. It's true connection that it's wanting, and not fake connection, right? So you've got years and years to learn this, but there is like a seed planted here with this Venus Mars in your 8th house, right? There is a passion. There is passion here that if you're single, for instance, you could be really meeting a very important person, a very charismatic person, and that reflects you as well. So deep stuff for sure. And what can help you, what is going to help you, is your 11th house and 9th house. So the 11th house is the house of friends, it's the house of like-minded people, it's the house of lightness, right? And the 9th house is travel, it's reading about philosophy, books, astrology, traveling, all of that good stuff. So when you're doing that, you are supporting yourself. Leos, this is an amazing transformation, and you have this, especially if you've got planets at the very beginning of Leo. Wow, you are totally changing, transforming, and so are your connections. So this is about relationships. I mean, this is so important for the Leos, because their relationships, whether you are single, there is definitely someone that's going to catch your interest, to say the least. And when you are not, so let's start with that. So you could be feeling overwhelmed, basically. When you're single and you're meeting the Plutonian, Mars, Venus, that's a lot. So watch the video for sure in the beginning for the tips of manipulation and so on. You could be really attracting someone who's mesmerizing and who's really trying to, maybe not consciously, but is trying to take your power away. So, and that is for you to learn how to take it back and how to work on yourself to become stronger. It's nothing more or less. In a current relationship, if you are in a relationship, well, things are about to change drastically. And you know it. If you're saying, Veerle, no, everything is all right, then okay, this is probably not your message. But if you are saying, yes, I want things to change, go with it. Try to change yourself, right? Don't try to change that other person, because they will not let you change them. right? So very interesting indeed. What is going to help you? Work. You've got Jupiter in the 10th house and in the 8th house, Saturn. So your day-to-day work, your career, and also doing some investments, doing deep psychological, reading books about astrology, for instance, the occult, whatever, deep psychological insights that will help you. So get to know yourself, basically. Virgos. And of course, Virgos are going to have their full moon. The full moon on the 24th at 5 degrees of Virgo. So for you Virgos, there's a lot like, this is what's happening, right? This energy. And this is all in your Virgo house. So that makes it a bit easier for you. Though it's your 6th house, it's the house of health. It's the house of your day-to-day work and routines. So for you, dear Virgos, this is all about a transformation in your day-to-day life, basically. You could totally change your lifestyle. You could question your lifestyle. And I mean, lifestyle is a big thing, right? It is how we treat ourselves, how we want to be treated, what we want to do in life, whether there's a purpose. I mean, lifestyle is a big thing. You could have a lifestyle where, but I'm not going into that. It's going to be taking me too long. But it's about your lifestyle. If you want to change it, good for you. Then you are on the Plutonian ride. But something needs to change first. So for instance, if you want to, for instance, let's say you're single and you're a lot of Virgos, they have that energy of, you are Mercury ruled. So you're very much about the mind, and you can be alone very well, don't you, Virgos? I certainly can. As a Virgo, I like to be alone, but I like to be with people as well. Anyway, it's not about me. But I kind of feel you, right, being a Virgo myself. But the Virgo has an opportunity now to change their lifestyles. So if you're saying, I'm single and I keep attracting men that they never do something for me. I always solve their problems. It sounds familiar, huh? I know. Being the Virgo, I always attract men who take advantage of me, and I fix them always, and then they dump me, and blah, 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 blah. You will have to change your lifestyle. It's an easy thing here that you could read from the astrology. But that can start with putting higher boundaries, right? So lifestyle, like my lifestyle is not always helping everybody, for instance. Or let's say you are single and you want men, or a man with a six-pack and very handsome, or you are a guy and you want a woman who is like, what's her name again? That actress, Leah Seaman. I forgot again. Well, level up. That's the lifestyle, right? That's about lifestyle. If you want to attract those high quality, beautiful, handsome men who are really having careers and look good, and you look like trash, and you look like you're rolling out of your bed every morning, and you're just, you see what I mean? You have those opportunities now, dear Virgos, of leveling up with the lifestyle. I totally look so much forward to it. And you probably already are feeling this, Virgos. And also on a health level, of course, right? If you say like, oh yeah, I want to be, I love my friends, they are so skinny and blah, 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 blah. Well, level up the lifestyle, do some exercises, whatever, do another diet, whatever. This is energy. And you're going to be passionate about it. For some of you, very young people, you could be interested in medicine. You could be, with all this energy, you could be interested in a bit of the more alternative medicine, right? Like acupuncture, chiropractic, all that kind of stuff. This is very Aquarius, 6th house kind of stuff. This is amazing. So get into that, And what can help you is your 9th house and 7th house. So Jupiter is in the 9th. Travel if you can. The 7th house is your partner or your mentor, whatever. You can have good people around you who help you out with that, or with that, and a different mindset. Librans, this is all happening in your 5th house. So the Librans, they are just like the Geminis, really, it's an advantage for them because it's a fellow air sign. Of course, it's Pluto. It's always Pluto. What is the 5th house? It's my favorite house because it's about expressing yourself. Who doesn't love that, right? So you dear Librans, you are here now with this Pluto energy. February, I mean, go for the romance, go for, and the if you say, but Veerle, I'm single, well, love yourself, right? And by doing the things that you love, what could that be in Aquarius? Well, do something that you've never done before. Go for a workshop where you learn maybe, I don't know, things about acupuncture, or where you learn something alternative, or you could fall deeply in love, of course, with this energy, absolutely. But again, it's going to trigger your old system of how you do relationships. You're going to get triggered here. Pluto there. I mean, that is charismatic people that you're going to attract, right? But that is because you are charismatic yourself. And it's about the power, the equality of that. So, yes, definitely, if you're single, this could be the start of a new connection, for sure. Keep it light, but it probably will not be possible to keep it light with Pluto there. But it's about expressing who you are. And it's also about not trying to control love. That for sure. If you are in a relationship, this could mean, and you have children, this could be one of your children going through those Plutonian phases. So that's interesting because you will be compelled to help them, right? I often have clients that, and I understand it. I mean, it's not that I'm judging those people. We've got they say, I've got a child and I need to help them. And then I ask them, how old are they? 32. So it's that kind of energy. You still want to, because, but you're not helping them with enabling them. You know, it can be that kind of story. Or it can be really a new creation, your own business, setting up your own business. And now with the things that you love to do, not someone else, that you love to do. Isn't that amazing? Interesting energy. What is helping you is the 8th house to the 6th house. So Jupiter in the 8th, Saturn in the 6th, your day-to-day life, your understanding of your own psyche. So your understanding of your own fears and doing your day-to-day routines to keep you fit and to keep you good and to keep you healthy. That kind of, your work, your day-to-day work can help you. Absolutely. When you are with your head towards the guy or girl that you're totally falling for. For instance, Scorpio, this is interesting. This is your 4th house. The 4th house is the core. It's the core of you. The 4th house is your emotional setup. It's your emotional well-being. You are changing at the core, period. I can stop it here. And then people say, oh, for the Scorpios, you're only doing 1 minute. I mean, it's valuable information. I'm just kidding, Scorpios. You never say that. You're not the sign that says that at all. But anyway, you are changing from the core. With Pluto there, if you've got Scorpio planets between 0, 1, 2 degrees, wow, you're going to feel this a lot. You're going to feel this. Even 3 degrees, you're going to feel this a lot, that your core is changing. Your core. That could be like, I've always did my life a certain way, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do it a totally different way. That is changing from your core. that is being the extrovert, but it was a false extroversion. Now you're seeing it, you're saying enough of it, the death with the extrovert me, and you're going for the true you, which is an introvert person, for instance, or the opposite. So you're changing at the core. That's the biggest message. That is your emotional setup. Your emotional setup, it could trigger a lot of fears of existence almost. It's like Pluto on the moon, right? Pluto in the 4th house. But it's that true transformation. On a lighter level, it's your home. It's literally your home that you could be doing Bob the Builder stuff, or that you are literally demolishing and starting all over. Or you're selling a house and you're going to buy a house. There's a lot of passion going on at home. Or at home, you're doing Plutonian things. You could be a therapist. And now you're working not in the clinic anymore, but you're working from home. Whatever. It's changing at that core level, which is absolutely it's absolutely your cup of tea. What's going to help you is people. You know, Jupiter in the 7th house is lovely. And sextiling the 5th house where Saturn is, there could be a new love. There could be a new love here that is quite stable. That there is this, I really love this for the Scorpios, you know. Whether you are single or in a relationship, there could be a love strengthening, or if you already have a connection, or a new love coming in. And it's that perfect balance between novelty and between stability. Whew. Wow. That's everything, right? Or almost. Anyway, Sagittarians. This is in your 3rd house. So Sagittarius and is fire, and all of this stuff in an air sign is it's quite okay for you, Sagittarians. It's quite, you could say, fluent. So there is like a massive, massive highlight on your 3rd house. This is first and foremost the way that you think. It's the way, I'm a Sagittarius rising, and I'm feeling this very much, that there is like a revolution going on with me. And I hope for you too, and that you are welcoming it. It's a totally breaking down of the old way of how you do things in a communication way. It's a totally breaking down. And it's a way more independent Aquarius communication, deep, going to the root of the matter. And it's about truthfulness, and it's about independence, and it's about the way that you think, or the former way that you thought was important for you is not so important anymore, right? I give you the example of myself here, that I'm totally now seeing things on a level of the mind that has made me to the woman that I am today. And I'm seeing like, I don't want that anymore. You know, I just am at the start of, I want to see things and think totally different, you know, from being, for instance, I already mentioned it in the beginning, thinking that you have to do things a certain way. No, I want to do things in a different way. And I hope that is the case for you as well, because if you're going to embrace that, you're going to be so powerful mentally. You know, if you got years and years, but the Sagittarian risings in specific, but also the sun in Sagittarius, to a lesser extent, the moon, they are going through this transformation that, and not that you're not mentally strong yet, no, but even stronger, you know, a mental state that is like powerful, strong, in your favor, the power of the mind. And for some of you, this will be going to school again, learning a skill, learning a certain skill, learning how to drive, learning how to, whatever it is, you know, learning and teaching. You could become a teacher as well. But first you have to transform your own mind before you can do that. So with Pluto here, there is a death and a rebirth of how you treat your own mind, and how, it's mind control, and it's because that's Pluto, but you want it not to be in a negative, toxic, obsessive mind, which is probably not going to happen because of this sextile to your energy. Sagittarius and Aquarius goes well. On a relationship level, it's the relations that we have with our neighbors, the neighborhood, our siblings. So there could be a death and a rebirth going on there as well. For better or for worse. I mean, that is the surrendering that you need to do, right? Or a sibling, a neighbor, I already mentioned it, and I don't know no, I'm not going to say that. Anyway, because people might not take this positively. But anyway, if you start seeing that, for instance, I have a lot of neighbors going away. It's behind my control, Pluto. I mean, I surrender to that. But a lot of neighbors, that's a typical sign of Pluto in the third house. But there's going to be new ones that are going to suit you better, right? So it's really a transformation of that energy. If you work for yourself, this could mean that you're going to do a lot more PR in a totally different Aquarian kind of way. Maybe you're having a business and you never use the internet. Maybe now you're going to use the internet. You're going to use the internet. You're going to have, the whole world is your oyster, right? Aquarius, it's the internet. It's people are connected. We are all connected through, on this energetic level. So very, very empowering energy for sure. What's going to help you? The 6th house, Jupiter, your work, your day-to-day routines, and Saturn in the 4th house, your emotional stability. So there is like lots of stability there that is available. And when you tap into that, you will deal better with this Plutonian kind of energy in your 3rd house. Capricorns, aren't you feeling it, Capricorns, that Pluto is no longer in your sign, and yet it's now in another sign, right? And that means another area of your life. That means in the 2nd house. The 2nd house is a value house. Yes, on a surface level, it's money. So there is a transformation going on, but on a deeper level, it's your worth. The song of Alicia Keys, A Woman's Worth. Listen to it. I've listened to that song many, many times when Pluto was going to my 2nd house. It's about your worth. So you are going to passionately change your values. So what once was very valuable for you could not be, and it's like with a boom, right? I remember when Pluto entered my 2nd house, what I valued very much, which was my work. I was working in the corporate world. I valued it very much. And all of a sudden, Pluto, of course, it's not all of a sudden, but you kind of see, this is not who I am. This is not connecting to my soul. Pluto in the 2nd, your soul. What is your soul's purpose? You want to earn your money with things that you do that your soul loves to do. It's a wake-up call. And then I realized, I will have to drastically change this. I will have to drastically give that up, go for what my soul wants, but make sure that I'm not going to be, having to sell my house and my car and everything, right? You see, that's Pluto in the 2nd house. It's there to upgrade you on a financial level, on a level of your worth. It's totally watch videos about how to upgrade your life. That is what this is all about. And it's being passionate about it. So you could be passionate about a new stream of income that is going to be more sole purpose, but you've got time for this, right? You can't do this in a 1, 2, 3. That's absolutely what I experienced as well, and many, many others having Pluto in the 2nd house. But it's very, very interesting. Then what's going to help you? The 5th house, Jupiter there, and the 3rd house. So it's connections. It's, you know, in your surroundings, there is stability, and there is, you know, your hobbies, doing things that you love to do it. That's going to give you that support. Aquarians, my goodness me. What an opportunity for the Aquarians. What an opportunity for the Aquarians. They are certainly the Aquarians that are having planets between 0 and 5 degrees. I mean, you are feeling this extremely. You're feeling that, you know, Pluto is coming, you know. And for you, it's the whole introduction. So I refer back to that whole introduction. It's for you. It's for you. And as the 1st house is your life path. So it's not just your physical appearance. So a lot of you could change things around your physical appearance. That could be from a totally new wardrobe. It could mean a different hairstyle, whatever. But something, you are drastically changing everything. And that is like, so you could say the challenge is bigger for the Aquarians because it's so much, but the reward will be bigger for you as well. So you have that opportunity to change who you are, right? It's like the economist changes into the astrologer. That's Pluto on the ascendant. That's Pluto on the ascendant. It's just an example, right? Or the astrologer changes into the economist. Could be that as well. Doesn't matter. It's your life path. Where do you want to go in life? That could totally change. It's your relationships. If you are single, you could meet someone because you have you are changing so much with this Mars there, this Venus there, this Pluto there. Wow, you are like a magnet. If you're not going to attract people into your life, then I don't know who will. You're going to be a magnet. People are going to want all those pieces from you. People are going to see you, perceive you. It's very charismatic, very powerful. But with power comes responsibility. So know that, all that power, use that power to make the shift that you want to make. Use that power for going towards what you fear the most in your life and what you want to be, to free yourself up. Do it for that. Because when you're going to free yourself up and surrender to that, who your true self is, right? I could say, yeah, it's easy, you know, going from the economist to the astrologer. It's not. It's not. You and me, we know it's not. It's not going to be easy. Or maybe you are in a relationship that is toxic, that is no longer, but you are enabling it. So yes, it is indeed time to cut out those relationships and of course, you don't have to now freak out, right? You know it. You know when you are in the wrong relationship. You know when you are in a relationship that is no longer alive. You know it. And you're holding yourself back. So you're not only doing yourself a favor, but also the other people involved, ultimately. So there's going to be only a small potential. Not every Aquarian is going to, of course, kind of cut out their relationships. But the Aquarians with, you know, the beginning of Aquarius energy and, you know, according to your whole astrology, this is not tailor-made astrology, right? Then you have to go into a reading if you want, if that resonates with you and you want to know more. But you're changing, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And be also aware that you're not stepping over other people's feet, so to speak, right? They also have the right to be who they are. And so it also works the other way, that you're not trying to use this energy in a very negative way, which is manipulation, but it's not going to work. It's going to backfire. It's going to backfire. So you're going to attract people who also have that strength and who also have that energy. You know, like attracts like, always. And you're going to have this new moon for you at 20 degrees of Aquarius on the 9th. So it's actually all Aquarians are going to feel that, you know, either you are at the beginning of Aquarius energy or at the end of Aquarius degree. I mean, you're going to feel this newness, this stepping into a new reality, into it's the 3D world that you're working in here. And what's going to help you, Jupiter in the 4th, sextiling Saturn in the 2nd, is your emotional well-being, your security that you have, and that you know about yourself, and the knowing who you are. That's going to help you. Last but not least, the Pisceans. You're having like a whole bunch of planets in your house, in the Piscean house, because all of this is in your 12th house. And that makes it easier. That makes it easier because you're familiar with the Piscean vibe of the 12th house. What is the 12th house? It's the house where we rest. It's the house where we reload the batteries. It's the house of escape as well. It's the house of I'm going to escape. And with Pluto there, it will just face your shadow. So there could be a passionate start, Venus and Mars in the 12th house with Pluto, to transform addictions, to transform ways of escapism, right? And you've with Mars there, Venus there, Pluto there, you've got tools now to tackle it, basically. You've got a long time to work on that. And many people, when I'm talking about addictions, a lot of people always seem to think, oh, it's alcohol or this. No, an addiction can also mean, especially for Pisceans, that they sacrifice themselves, right? They do everything for other people. That's also an escape, right? And Pluto is saying, that's a shadow point. We have to destroy this, right? So you've got a huge opportunity to kind of meet your shadow and saying hello to the shadow and transforming it into something else, whatever it is. Mars and Venus there is also sexual energy. In the 12th house could mean a tendency, not always, but a tendency to do those things behind the scenes. Can be a good thing, you know. You can go with your loved one and say, we're going to the other part of the world and going to have a very private kind of vacation. But of course, in life, sometimes this could mean also secret relationships. So I'm not judging here at all, but there is also a meaning. If that is your story, why this is happening to you, right? So this is all about the transformation of the darkness, right? Which is also about value, and it's also about this equality that I was talking about in the beginning of the reading. So that could be that you have to keep love secret, for instance. Mars, Venus, Pluto there. That you have to keep your love secret in some sort of way, and you will have to transform that in some sort of way as well. That energy, because that energy is there. It's not that it's bad or good, but how are you going to transform that? It's also the positive side is being very creative. And I don't know one Piscean who is not creative. And I know many Pisceans. I have the luck to be surrounded by a lot of Pisceans in my life, and they are so creative. And so if you're struggling with those energies, with those darker energies, put it into the positive, which is being creative, being that artist, or in another way, of course, with healthy boundaries, do some help for people who are really needing the help. You know, I'm looking for a word now and can't find it. You know, those charity work, you know, and you can do it behind the scenes and no one knows it. And you're doing that. So that is very beautiful energy with the Venus, and that's very passionate, and you're transforming other people's life, but you're also transforming your own dark energy into something positive, and so on and so on. This can sound quite dark, but this is familiar to Pisceans. You know, the unconscious is familiar. It's all what you have stuffed up in the unconscious that is now ready to show itself. And Pluto in the 12th house is karma. It's family patterns. It's karma from your parents and your grandparents and grand that you kind of be able to transform now. That's beautiful. You know, you can do some work like, how did they say that? You know, the family work, or I don't know, in psychology, they do like, I don't know the word, you probably do, but, you know, do some work there, some healing work. It's great for healing. Absolutely. And what is going to help you through Jupiter in the 3rd and Saturn in the 1st? Well, short trips. Go for a short trip if you can. Go for a workshop, you know, that you feel that you grow from, and that kind of, that you love to do. Go here and there. Jupiter in the 3rd is your siblings, you know. That could be something very supportive, inspired, being inspired by siblings, being inspired by a neighbor in the neighborhood, because of their lifestyle, and it cheers you up, and it gives you a more purpose in life. So that's what's there available for you, right? And Saturn in your sign is also, you are a bit, you have that ability to feel more secure, to be more stable, to be more protected of your boundaries, which is a good thing. Anyway, I hope all of you that this was helpful. I wish you a very good February, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.